Cheers, bro. We can hit it. We can take a little sec and then we'll start it up. All right, YouTube, how's it going? Welcome to the first ever episode of the Culture Cast, a podcast where we just talk our bullshit, cover sports, cover the current state of hip hop, the music industry, and basically whatever comes to our mind. I'm Kenny,
Brian,
and we're gonna be the two hosts for the Culture Cast podcast.
for the most part.
For the most part, we'll see how this goes.
Drake 21. So Her House came out this week. Thoughts?
All right. So if we're going compared to like what Drake dropped last,
Honestly, never mind.
yeah, I would say I like this theme better.
Okay.
I guess after my first like listen through of Honestly Nevermind wasn't my style, but I did like the beats. I thought it was a good album. This one, it seems like he brought in 21 to kind of be back on his bullshit, you know, and then
Oh, for sure.
third track in on BS, and I was like, okay, yeah, I know what it's gonna be like, but I liked it. Like, I don't think it was as good as like CLB, Certified Lover Boy, but I liked a few tracks. I think the ones that stood out to me the most was on BS. I think was my favorite, and then I also liked Hours in Silence. I think that
Hours
beat.
in Silence was just some shit. And I will say though, I feel like the song did kind of drag on a little bit too long. So, have you heard Diamonds Dancing on What a Time to Be Alive?
Yeah, not in a minute though. Yeah.
That song reminded me of that, but I feel like Diamonds Dancing kind of hits a little different because Drake's on his like misogynistic shit. This whole album actually, Drake was on his misogynistic shit. I shouldn't be laughing, but I mean, just it's the old Jersey, bro.
Yeah, I think because the themes like on Honestly Nevermind, like he was going through like his women troubles and everything.
Oh, what
in his feels?
I mean, think of his last 3 albums now: Certified Lover Boy.
Yeah,
and then you have Honestly Nevermind. And then Her Loss. What was before Certified Lover Boy? Was
that Scary Hours?
That was like an EP. I'm talking about an album.
Oh, album?
It was
Scorpion?
Was it Scorpion?
It might have been Scorpion.
I think it was Scorpion.
Yeah.
And Scorpion was like around the time like Pusha T like exposed that man.
Yeah, that's true.
And all that stuff. So, I mean, he's Drake. Like we know what to expect from him. It's weird because he's definitely pushing 40 now, and he's still talking about like, you know, Serena Williams, and like her husband's a groupie, and fuck that nigga. You know
yeah, he did call.
I'm like, Drake, you too old for that. But I mean, that's what we love Drake for, though. At the end of the day, like we're not trying to hear Drake rap about like taxes and like business fucking ventures. Oh, I mean, he kind of talks about that a little bit, but
he does. He has one line. I think it's I forgot what track it is, but he's saying like, the truth is suicide. I'd rather live the lie or something. I think it was. I guess it's fuck me. He says that line. It's like he's like he'd rather live the lie than say the truth because it's suicide. You know, people getting canceled here and there, but or just speaking up. You know, but. Yeah, I think it's still a pretty good album. Like, he's definitely taking shots. I think he kind of recruited 21 to be back on his bullshit, like his fuckboy shit. So, he's kind of getting out of that funk.
I feel like people don't realize how toxic Drake actually is, because Drake can like pull off that like nice guy stuff too, just because he's Drake and you know he can sing and whatever. But Drake's pretty fucking toxic.
He is. Yeah, he is.
I mean, so.
Do you think? Since it's a collab album with 21, do you think like 21, because he had some pretty good lines too, but I thought, because like Drake's always good at melodies and stuff, so, and his flow is always really good. I didn't really hear any like crazy bars that, you know, stood out necessarily. There's like a few.
There's that Megan Thee Stallion bar.
Oh yeah.
We're talking about.
Yeah, from 21.
He said what I've read, because I'm on Twitter and there's always stupid ass discourse on Twitter. So Megan Thee Stallion actually tweeted about that. She was like, it's always dudes talking about my trauma and all that stuff, you know, serious subject, but I don't want to speculate on what Drake actually meant, because I guess he said like shots and not shot about like the whole, you've heard about the whole Tory Lane shit, right?
Yeah
So like I said, he was talking his shit, man, and I think Drake knows what he's doing.
I think so too. Yeah, he knows what sells and everything, but the thing I don't know is like, So if he's like rapping about this girl, it's probably the same girl, right? Is it? Do you think it's
Same girl? Oh,
his
no,
baby mama, or just a
no,
new girl?
hell
Do you
no.
think it's a
You
new
know how
girl?
many groupies Drake probably fucking has,
Yeah,
bro?
but how many are actually getting to
I
him
don't think he
mentally?
even likes his baby mama like that.
Yeah, I think it was just
Just a
it
bunch of
happened.
girls he's been talking to. Like, you know, he dated Serena Williams, like, God knows
That
how
was
long
years
ago.
ago.
I
Yeah.
think that was like hot like bling era Drake.
Yeah.
You know, and he's still bringing. She's married now, and she has a kid with the I think the founder of Reddit, and
Yeah.
he's like still name dropping her. So
Yeah.
Drake's petty, but honestly, I love Drake's petty words.
It is funny.
That's like a thing I love about Drake. Like he's the king of petty.
Yeah.
You know, he gets away with it just because that's how we know Drake.
Yeah,
You
and
know what I mean?
I mean he's already at the top of the game, right? So he can get away with pretty much anything. And
Yeah, unless she's like a predator.
that would
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that came out one day. That's
Hey
all I'm gonna
man,
say.
he was talking to what's her face?
Was it the
Stranger Things girl.
Yeah, I saw that.
Look at her,
Millie
11.
Bobby Brown.
Yeah, Millie Bobby Brown. So
Yeah.
talking to her, that was a little sus too.
You know Reddit, right?
Yeah.
So I have a Reddit account, and my most upvoted post was you remember how on Instagram you used to see what people like liked and like followed and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
So I was on it one day, and I see Champagne Poppy followed Billie Eilish, and this is when Billie Eilish was still like 16 or 17 or something like that. So I screenshotted it, right? I posted it on a subreddit. I said Drake's next target.
Oh
like,
shit!
that's a joke, right? I got like 4,000 upvotes, right?
Damn. Yeah.
And then like months later, okay, months later, I think Billie Eilish in an interview, and she was like, "Oh my God, like Drake's like one of my closest friends. Like we like text all the time."
Yeah, I've seen that.
And then people were commenting on that like months later, like, "Bro, you predicted the future."
Dude, you saw it, man. You knew.
So honestly, I love Drake. He might be a predator. I don't know, but I've been saying, bro, people in the entertainment industry, whether it's like Hollywood or like athletes, they're all scumbags, man.
They are, man. At the end of the day, I think like ego and like money gets to them.
Power.
And like
the power influence.
Yeah, and once they get anything, dude, they just want what they can't have, and then that's where they shit goes off the rails. But I still think though, like about like going back to the album, like Jimmy Cooks is probably better than all the other tracks.
I will say that Jimmy Cooks. I definitely like that first beat a lot better than the second half of the song.
I like Drake's part.
He definitely sides on that beat. He has some great one-liners too. Like that bitch won't tell me that you model if you ain't been involved.
Yeah.
That's so fire. And then the all good love in a minute, though. Yo, you flow super
well. No, bitch, because I'm a timid soul.
Yeah. You flow super well on that beat for sure.
He does, yeah. The whole verse too, like he's just killing it. So.
And then 21 comes on, right? And I don't hate the part.
Yeah.
It's definitely like that first part is like so transcendent, and then you just go to that second part. It kind of like plateaus after that for me.
Right. Yeah. So, what would you say your favorite track was on the new on Her Loss?
On Her Loss. Let me go through the playlist. I would have to say for me, Middle of the Ocean.
That beat's sick.
That beat is super sick. Or it's got to be Middle of the Ocean, Treacherous Twins, or Major Distribution. So
I would say the second, because I listened to it twice. The first time was just at work, just listened to it. I focused more on the first half, and then the second half I was kind of busy. But I did what Treacherous Twins kind of grew on me. Like I like that beat. I like Circo Loco just because it's like the old school.
You know what's super funny about that? So he like dissed Kanye on that song, kind of.
Yeah.
He was like linked up with like Jay Prince linked up with the Ops because Jay Prince told me to.
Right.
I thought that was super funny, right? Because Stronger by Kanye. He like dissed Kanye on a Daft Punk sample. No, it's just like wow.
Yeah, true.
Full circle moment right there.
Yeah. I mean, because like I thought they like squashed their beef, and then
I think right. Jay Prince, right? I think they only did that. Jay Prince is like y'all's beef is so dumb. Y'all can make me some money, and then they did the
Larry
Amazon
Hoover
concert.
The Larry Hoover concert
That's on Amazon. So, and honestly, that shit was super fire. I don't know if you watched it.
I didn't watch any of that.
It's on Amazon Prime. So
okay.
If you ever have the chance, that's probably one of the better like live concerts I've seen.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I feel like Jay Prince was like, y'all can shut up and make me some money. So I don't think Drake necessarily has any beef with Kanye, but he's definitely like keeping his distance still.
Yeah, no,
Kanye's a fucking wild card, man.
Oh yeah, he is. And then like, I would say like I think hours in silence is probably my favorite. It does kind of drag on, but that beat's really good. But I did like on BS, and then maybe Broke Boys. Like
Bro Boys is dope.
Yeah,
no, he was talking this shit on Bro Boys.
That's
I think
why I liked it.
was that Broke Boys that line where you were saying like fuck Adidas?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so yeah, all those. The Middle of the Ocean has a pretty fire beat, but kind of what you mentioned earlier. Kind of moving on to the next topic, Kanye. So both Kanye and Kyrie are both in the public eye right now, talking a little bit, going overboard on the whole anti-Semitism stuff and everything.
I can't lie, I haven't heard the word anti-Semitism in my life as much as I have in like the last like 2-3 weeks.
I know.
So,
but I think Kanye started it, right? So he posted like an
Instagram tweet.
Yeah,
he was like, because he was wilding on Instagram. I think he got banned on Instagram again, and then he went to Twitter. Then he said, "I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people."
Yeah,
which is a pretty fucking unhinged tweet.
That's
You can't just be saying that shit. But that's the thing with Kanye is he just has never given a fuck.
He doesn't. Yeah, and he claims like, he's made all the money in the world, like he's doing it for the truth or whatever. So whatever like his beliefs are, right? Like I'll respect him for his free speech, but when it comes to like hate speech is like where you kind of have to draw the line, right?
Exactly.
So like
that's how I feel too.
Yeah, so like he's talking crap. Like I believe him that when he's trying to advocate for like the elites in the music industry or just industries in general, like fucking you over. But when he tries to generalize it as all Jewish people, that's where he kind of
just because they happen to be all Jewish.
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah, and that is the fact. So it's like the facts are there are people within like the music industries or industries that fuck people over. Do they happen to be Jewish in this case? Yes. Are all Jewish elites trying to fuck people over and have an agenda? No. So like that's where I think he does wrong with what he's saying. And I don't know. You watched a little bit of the Lex Friedman podcast with Kanye?
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched like he has like a clips channel. I just watched clips of that.
Right. So. And I think that was the best interview that Kanye has done because I've seen like the Joe Rogan podcast with him, and he was all over the place. Like that one was hard to watch.
Did you see the second Drink Champs one?
No, I didn't see the second one. Yeah.
I watched that one. He was wild.
Was he? He's unhinged.
He was talking about how like George Floyd died from like fentanyl.
Yeah.
Cop's knee. And I was like, oh boy.
Yeah. So he was definitely on one on those, but I think what the Friedman podcast was good because he stayed a little bit more calm, and also Friedman pushed him like and challenged him on some of his beliefs and everything. It was like when he was, coining the term Jewish media, right? Friedman kept saying like, say their names, don't just generalize it, because Friedman's of Jewish descent and everything too. Yeah. So he was trying to come from the perspective of his friend that's trying to help him move forward and clarify his words, and I think he kind of helped him do that. Kanye was pretty firm on not apologizing. I think he did apologize at the end, but
I saw that he like said sorry. I don't know if it was like meaningful though.
Yeah, it might have been like he felt like he was forced to.
Yeah, and he kind of just did it.
Yeah, so. But again, like I respect him. Like I respected like any of his politics, his beliefs aside, as a musical genius. Like he's still one of my favorite artists. So
me too. He's top 3 for me.
Yeah,
like,
same.
That's the thing. Like I love Kanye West, the musician. The person, I'm not too sure. But honestly, like as much as unhinged as he's been the last 6 years, I felt like he's also done like a lot of good stuff too. So
I think so. Yeah,
he's not all bad. Definitely the bad definitely outweighs more of the good. For sure.
Yeah, especially when he's going on his like tangents and stuff.
Since like the whole red hat with Trump thing, and slavery was a choice, and all the other controversies. Yeah, but Kanye loves controversy.
He's a king of controversy, and he's a genius marketer. So I think sometimes he exaggerates it. Yeah. I think you mentioned this before in just like conversations we've had. Whenever he has something coming out, whether it's an album, some clothing line,
Just anything.
Yeah, he's going to say these controversial things to get a lot of eyes on him, and then he dropped like stem player Donda, in the past. So like he's always said these controversial things to kind of push his own agenda as well.
This time he got hit with the hammer though. So he lost the Adidas deal.
Yeah,
he lost the Balenciaga deal.
His banks dropped him, I
His
think.
bank dropped him.
Donda Sports just basically dissolved.
He had to close his school down. He got hit hard. So,
Yeah.
And honestly, I gotta be honest. As much as I love Kanye West, he probably deserved it. Not
Yeah.
probably. He definitely did deserve it.
Yeah,
I think so. He's kind of been tipping the line for a while.
He has.
So you gotta show that. Eventually you gotta just be like, hey man, you gotta quit it.
I think he needs to pick his battles, like whether he believes in it or not, and also he has to think about the repercussions because he has a lot of followers, right? Some of those followers are just going to blindly believe anything he says, especially the younger generation.
Yeah.
But when he tries to use his words to attack the big music industry, the fashion industry, or anything, then like I think he needs to choose his words wisely to tackle those issues. And that kind of leads me into Kyrie. So Kyrie recently posted something I think on his Twitter and his Instagram of a documentary that,
and I think it was a book too.
Yeah, it's based off of a book that apparently contains anti-Semitic points or views in it, and he was kind of pushed to do the same thing, and he posted it around the same time the whole Kanye thing was going on. So I think what Kanye did kind of inspired him to also speak up, and like his claim was like he was trying to not necessarily promote, because like I saw an interview, someone was like, why are you trying to promote like anti-Semitic views? And he's like, that's not what I'm doing. He's like, I'm just posting. He's like, it's the same thing that anyone else does. So kind of agree, but he also is a public figure, so then he has a lot of people.
And Kyrie is also a controversial figure.
Yeah,
like,
he is.
The whole deal with the vaccine thing last year, he pretty much couldn't play because of the New York mandates. So.
Yeah, but dude, honestly, okay, this is my personal opinion. Like, I think at this point, like that shit doesn't matter.
The
right?
vaccine?
Well, no, not the vaccine in general, but like the whole mandates and stuff.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I think at this point, I would say we're like COVID's still out there, obviously.
It's always gonna be here, but
people are pretty much back to their normal.
Yeah,
it seems like
whether people got vaccinated or not, we're at like herd immunity. So unless you're like at risk, have some sort of diseases, you're probably gonna be okay. And
at this point,
So I think at this point, it's whatever his stance was at the time. It is what it is. Like the mandates happened, especially in New York, because they had those. So
and New York got hit hard with COVID too.
They did.
That was one of the things, and because the Nets were like the Brooklyn Nets were like primed to be title contenders. Because they had I think James Harden was still on the team too. Mm-hmm. And you had Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, which were like the three some of the three of the like best players in the NBA.
Right.
Now you have Kyrie, who's playing half the games. That confuses team chemistry. So I think that's probably what sparked it a lot. It's just Kyrie kind of left his teammates in the ditch.
For sure. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, they just like he should just play basketball. Like, I know he feels like he has a voice that he needs to be heard.
For sure.
And I think he has like some things like he's advocating for. It's like that, like the whole COVID thing. He was crucified for that and everything. Now that like COVID's officially over, so
is it over?
It's not. Okay, what I'm saying is like President Biden said that the pandemic. Okay, let me rephrase that. The pandemic is over. Now that the pandemic is over, COVID is always going to be here. We have the vaccines, so people can get boosted if they want or not. So like at this point that we have the measures to prevent like an outbreak, majority of people dying from it. I think it's just like we can move on with our lives from COVID. But because of that whole issue he went through last year, he was already in a negative light when it comes to the public. So
Kyrie always has controversies too.
He does, he's like a flat earther as well.
He's a flat earther. He's always just saying like random ass conspiracy theories. He's missing games all the time for random ass things. So. And, he's like a pivotal part of a team that wants to win a title. So, obviously, he's going to be under the microscope,
Right.
especially if you play with like Kevin Durant, who's like top 3 basketball player in the league right now, top 5, some shit like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Kyrie be wildin', but also
He
like,
does, yeah.
I mean, yeah, Kyrie just be wildin'.
Yeah,
He's an elite basketball talent.
he's so fun to watch.
That shouldn't take away from his basketball talent
Yeah,
whatsoever.
but at the end of the day, dude, like that's his profession, right? So he
Yeah.
should be putting himself in a position to be able to be on the court.
Yeah.
And that was the whole argument, you know, with
I feel like
with sports.
Not to interrupt you,
No,
but
go.
I feel like that's where like the media's like, I guess, criticism of him is fair because you know he definitely, because he always has some random bullshit that's preventing him from playing games. I feel like that he definitely doesn't always put his team in the best position. Not since he won that Cleveland title, you know.
Yeah.
So there's always something that he's done.
Right.
But still an elite basketball talent, and that's what sucks about Kyrie sometimes, man. Because people want to see him play, and then he does some shit like tweet out a movie, and there's a whole debacle, especially after the Kanye thing. Yeah. That's why I was a little disappointed. I was like, man, like even if Kyrie did believe that stuff, man, just keep it to yourself.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's at the
honestly,
end of the day.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like there is definitely a lot more athletes who are probably anti-Semitic, but they're just gonna keep their mouth shut.
Or maybe not necessarily anti-Semitic, but believe in similar beliefs as him.
Yeah.
You know, I think like his whole thing was like the Black Hebrew Israelites. So I don't know too much about it, but it's basically like it's like the out of Africa hypothesis. Everyone comes from Africa, so that means Jewish people are also, or African Americans are also Jewish, right? Mm-hmm. So that's, I think, the part that he agrees with. But in that specific book or documentary, they were talking bad about the Caucasian Jewish people. So
like how they're not like real or
something.
The Jews are the African Americans.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the documentary.
Neither
I've seen I read like an article about some of the shit that was in it. So I don't really know too much about like Jewish culture either. So
neither did I. And the whole thing was, I think, because of World War II and the Holocaust, you know. Yeah. Like learning about that, like the atrocities that happened to the Jewish people within Nazi Germany, and then leading up to World War II, you know, we can't deny that the Holocaust happened. So
for sure.
So yeah, I think it's just the timing, and you know, the whole argument is just, you know, it goes both sides. Like whatever belief it is, like a lot of people just want to tune out with the rest of the world and watch the sports. So when these athletes come out and say these controversial things, it just sucks them back into all like the bullshit that's going on, right? So yeah, man, I hope, because Kyrie's one of my favorite players to watch when he's on the court. So I hope he can get his shit together.
I'm pretty sure he was firm on like not apologizing until he got suspended.
He was, and
I think he wasn't gonna say shit.
Yeah, and
he got suspended. And then I think he realized like his NBA career is kind of in jeopardy because already, right, like he's a controversial figure, and the stigma around him is you can't really rely on him because he's missing games for some reason. You know what I mean? Whether it's the vaccine, or he's just like, I just don't feel like playing, or saying tweeting out the anti-Semitic movie. You know?
Right.
So I feel like the stigma around him in the league is you can't just be trusted. I guess it's just kind of fair. You know, you give out a long-term deal to him, like that probably might backfire. But Kyrie's always going to sell seats, though.
Yeah, for sure.
He's an elite basketball player, for sure.
He is, and then you know he has a target on his back because of the things he's said, and you know,
I really when he said he didn't mean any harm, I think he definitely meant that.
I truly do believe that.
I don't think Kyrie's like that for sure.
And I think Kanye too. Like I think both of them truly didn't mean to hurt people. They're just voicing their frustrations and their beliefs, but because they have such a huge platform, you know, it's going to affect and influence so many other people who may not understand where they're coming from. So then it's just straight like, anti-Semitic views, or like or you know, hating Jewish people, or whatever it may be. So, but I do truly think that too, and I think Friedman said that in the Kanye part, was like, he's like, I truly believe you come from a place of love, and I hope you use your platform and your power, in a sense of influence, to truly like change the world for the better. So I hope both of them do it, man. And it's
I'm still rooting for Kanye.
I'm rooting for Kanye. I'm rooting for Kyrie.
I know a lot of people lost faith in Kanye, which is fair.
Yeah.
Oh, that made me in graduation. So,
Dude, he's made so many bangers, and like,
listen, I guess that's not really a valid reason to
right.
excuse his hate. So I will admit that,
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I just Kanye is like, I don't want to say he's inspires me, but I don't know. He's always kind of meant something to me.
For
He's
sure.
like one of those celebrities. I'm just like, damn,
'Cause
bro. He's like,
he's
that
always
motherfucker.
yeah, he's always been the underdog, right? And he's always
Yeah.
the first they said, "Oh, you're just a producer. You can't be a rapper." And then he became became one of the best producers. He became one of the best rappers. Became one of the best like fashion designers, right?
Yeah.
And he was at one point, I don't know if he still was, like I think the wealthiest African American of all time. So he's conquered like so many feats, like you can't take that away from him. And I think he just always has that underdog mentality. So when the media is coming after him for his controversial statements, he's just always in war mode. And I think he grew up just to never back down he truly believes. So does Kyrie.
Did you watch his documentary on Netflix?
I watched the first part.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think I got to the point where they started talking about his motorcycle accident, his car accident.
They do a pretty good deep dive. That third episode is kind of sad though, because that's where there's like a huge gap. Like they go into I think was it Jesus is King from like late registration and all of that. You can kind of see Kanye's just further off the edge. Like there's this one clip where he's just talking about abortion, like in the studio, and Justin Bieber's there, and he's like, he's just listening to Kanye just rant about abortion and how much he hates abortion, how it's terrible, and Justin Bieber's kind of just like.
Yeah, you see, when he ran for president in 2020, like his one, whatever, his one not debate, but his like one rally, dude, he was like in a fucking bulletproof vest. He wanted to have the platform of bringing people on and like having them voice their opinion. Then he had like a fucking breakdown, like almost like bawling. And he's like, I almost killed my daughter and all this shit.
He wanted to abort, I think his firstborn.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, which. I feel bad for her because she shouldn't be just airing that shit.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that. That's like personal stuff. I think that also was, one of the reasons why Kim was like, I can't.
I don't blame Kim. I don't blame Kim for going her own way because she can only put up with Kanye for so long.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And Kanye's done like pissed off like everybody.
He does.
He's not cool with Cudi no more. Drake, Kim. He's still cool with Pusha.
Yeah, Pusha's always been homies.
Pusha's always going to be his way. I think Jay-Z doesn't hate him, but Jay-Z's definitely.
He's not associating with him.
Yeah, he's definitely Jay-Z keeping his distance. By the way, Watch the Throne, top 3 rap album of all time. Just saying.
What about Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy? My favorite one of his.
Really?
Yeah, that album was fire. Like,
I love My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Yeah, I would say like top Kanye. What's your favorite Kanye song of all time?
Everybody, if you know me, you know what it is.
Flashing Lights.
Yeah. Flashing Lights. That song resonates with me too much, man. It feels so magical. Like I feel like I'm like going to heaven or some shit like that every time. That beat is magic.
That's one of the best beats, and that's why I don't know if it's my favorite. It's tough to say. Like that's top 5 for me. I think the 2 that I go back and forth on is All the Lights, because that beat is insane.
All the Lights go crazy.
And then Touch the Sky.
Touch the Sky is fire.
Touch the Sky, I think, is my number 1 right now, and Lupe fucking kills it with his verse too. So
the registration is good. Dude, Kanye's discography is on one. I always do tell people too, like, as controversial as Kanye is, you can't like deny like he's definitely one of the most iconic figures of our like time.
He is. Yeah.
He's like everybody knows who Kanye West is.
Yeah, he's like one of the most influential people in the world, right?
Yeah.
And like maybe besides Elon Musk right now, like everyone knows who he is. So you can't take that away from him. I think he knows that, and I think he sometimes it gets to his ego, but
for sure,
it is what it is. But
so Kanye, I hope everything goes well with you in life. Same with you, Kyrie.
Yeah, I hope both of them figure it out. Able to make amends and continue with their careers. But all right, kind of sticking with like the whole music industry, death of Takeoff. So, do you want to kind of explain what happened? Or?
Yeah, I guess. So I was playing Modern Warfare 2. I've been playing that game all week, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was playing with a buddy, and then we logged off for tonight, and then I do a little social media browsing before I go to sleep, and then I see that he's dead. I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And then I'm on Twitter just trying to get more details. So I guess what happened was from what is known right now, I guess they were in Houston for, I think, Jay Prince's kid's like birthday or whatever. They were like celebrating or something at some place. I don't know, but I guess they were playing dice. They were shooting dice, right? I guess there was like an argument that happened, and then what happened was I think Quavo got punched or something like that,
Oh shit.
and then someone, maybe on Quavo's side, I don't know, someone put on Quavo's side and put out a gun. They started shooting, and I guess that bullet inadvertently hit Takeoff.
That's what I heard.
And
it was friendly fire.
It hit him in the neck or the head or something like that.
Shit.
So yeah, and it was fucked. I saw a video of his dead body just laying in blood. TMZ, and it was the like unedited version was on Twitter.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah. You just hear Quavo just screaming like, it's terrible.
Yeah.
I saw that at like 3 a.m. too. Like
that's
right
fucked, bro.
To sleep, bro. I was just like, damn.
Yeah.
So,
dude, Migos were on top for a bit. Like, what was it, like 2016, 2017?
I would say, well, 2016 is I think when they went mainstream with
Right.
Bad and Bougie.
Right.
But they were kind of blowing up for a little bit. Like throughout high school, I remember them like, hit 'em up, 10. Hit 'em up, 10. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. Dude, they were the king of ad libs. I remember they were fucking fire with
they're
those.
addictive. I will say they kind of flame off. They
did
kind of flame off the last couple of years. Like, dude, Culture 3, I didn't. It was kind of meh.
I think I tried listening to it all the way through, and there was one or two, but I mean, I can't even think of any tracks.
I think the one song I always go back to is Straightening. I like that song, and like there's a song called Birthday. That's like a strip club anthem.
Oh yeah.
So that song's kind of catchy, but yeah, Culture 3 was kind of whatever. And what sucks about that whole situation is I guess Takeoff and Quavo had beef with Offset, so they like broke off the Migos, and they're both.
Really?
Yeah. So they actually Quavo and Takeoff released an album like
weeks ago, right? Or
2 weeks ago, something like that. Did you listen to that, by the way?
No, I haven't gotten to it, but I knew they just had some shit that they just dropped. But
I listened to it one time. There's some cool joints on there, the Migos. It's like you know what to expect from the Migos, but I liked it for what it is, right? So, but yeah, they broke off. I guess the rumor is that Offset fucked Sweetie. That's what I saw on Twitter.
Oh shit!
Hey, Quavo kind of mentions it in a bar on that album, actually.
Yeah.
So he says like, "Bitch, fuck my dog," like, but fuck it, I guess, or something like that.
Damn.
So,
is he still with Cardi?
Offset.
Offset, yeah. Okay.
I think they're married.
Yeah, they have like 2 kids, right?
They have 2 kids.
Baby Culture.
Yeah, but Offset's like a serial cheater.
Oh yeah.
He always gets like just outed for cheating. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that Takeoff situation is sad, man. I feel for Offset the most, just because. Well, I feel for both of them. Quavo because that's Quavo's nephew.
Yeah. All 3 of them.
They're all family.
Yeah.
They're all like blood.
Dude,
family,
that's unfortunate.
So Quavo had to watch his nephew fucking lie in his own blood.
Bleed out to death.
And Offset hasn't been on good terms, but that's still family though, right?
Yeah.
And, like they came up together.
Right.
They're all close together, you know.
And you know, I mean, the situation's all fucked up, but maybe this brings them back together. Unfortunately, like the circumstances.
Well, like Migos, as we know, is dead.
It's dead. Yeah, it's for sure.
They're never. There's no Migos without Takeoff.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, Quavo.
And he was the youngest too.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I think Offset and Quavo are probably in their early 30s.
He was like 28.
Takeoff was 28, I think. Yeah. So.
Man, that's too young, bro. Like. It's unfortunate.
So, I mean, yeah, this brings the topic of hip hop. Like people just be getting shot up like that all the time, man.
Yeah.
Just
shot up, and also like drugs too, man.
Drugs,
ODs,
or they just end up in jail.
Yeah,
so that's the harsh reality of hip hop.
Yeah, because like you have those rappers that some actually like rap what they live, and there's other rappers that just rap it like they do it like, but they don't actually, right? So, like you kind of find out based off of who gets arrested, like the whole Young Thug and
Gunna.
Yeah, Gunna, dude. YSL's done, dude. Sucks, man. Like Young Thug is one of my favorites in terms of like the mumble rap shit, dude. Yeah,
I love Gunna, man. I can't lie.
Gunna's good too.
I like Young Thug too, obviously.
Yeah.
I still remember like the first time I heard it. Is it with him?
Yeah.
Do. That song's classic, by the way. But yeah, the Atlanta hip hop's been down bad. Like, the whole YSL thing, Takeoff getting shot,
Right.
Just It's tough, man. It's tough. It's just tough for hip hop culture in general because I love hip hop. You know what I mean? I hate to see people just go out like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whether it's getting shot or going to jail or something with drugs, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I guess that's my lifestyle when it comes to being a rapper. You know what I mean? There's not like really. I think Jack Harlow's straight edge, but I mean that's Jack Harlow.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah,
that he's from a whole different reality. I feel
he is. Yeah, and he's making the music for the women, dude. Like all his beats. His newest album was super mainstream. Like there's a few songs I'll replay here and there, but
yeah, I think Jack Harlow's was pretty mid.
Yeah, I agree, dude. I thought Kendrick's. I still think Kendrick's album, best hip hop album of the year. It might be best album of the year. Like I need to go back through and everything, but I mean, and I'm kind of biased too, because like Kendrick's. I think he's the GOAT. I think he's the best of all time to ever do it. Like Kanye is up there for sure for beats and everything, but in terms of like lyricist, like oh yeah, hands down, like in my opinion, Kendrick's the best lyricist.
Gotcha.
And then he does make, dude. Damn was pretty fucking poppy, or like mainstream.
Yeah.
Like Loyalty, dude. I bang that every now and then with him and Rihanna.
Dude, you couldn't go anywhere. When did Damn come out? Like was it
2017? Yeah.
You couldn't go anywhere in 2017 without hearing Humble.
Yeah.
I got so sick.
I didn't think that was one of his better songs. I really like Loyalty, DNA, dude. I always like his when he fast raps, so like Mad City. I like Rigor Mortis on
Elements on Damn is fire.
Elements is fire. I do like that one.
That's probably my favorite song.
Yeah. I would say I think mine is maybe Loyalty. And like what is it? Triple X
with you too.
Yeah, but like it's kind of he has some weird samples in it, but there's one part where he just raps hard. But I think in this newest album, like I think I told you, like I don't know if it's his best album of all time, but I think it's a masterpiece. It just comes full circle. Like what he like references like his older lyrics or his older lyrics, his older albums. He kind of talks about how like his struggles with himself, with reality, with everything. But I think he still stays true, but also creates like a cohesive album. Like there's some more mainstream radio songs like with like Silent Hill and stuff. And then with N95, and then he has more of like the R&B songs with like I really like Purple Hearts and Die Hard. I think those are like a couple of my like favorite ones, and then obviously like N95 because he just raps hard. He goes ham on that one, but
my favorite song is Savior.
Savior is fire too.
You know, it's actually funny. There's that Kyrie bar.
He does mention Kyrie, yeah.
So I think Savior is my favorite song on Mr.
That one's
Morale
good.
and the Big Surfers.
That one is really good too. I like that one. I liked Mr. Morale as well. I still listen to that album. I really liked what is it? Count Me Out. That one's fire. That gives me Kanye vibes too. Like it sounds like it's influenced by Kanye, but yeah, dude. That's I hope the state of hip hop, man. Like I mean, there's still some good rappers out there.
Yeah,
so.
man. You just can't keep losing them, bro. Just I feel like since like the rise of like SoundCloud rap, it's just more frequent now.
Yeah.
Just keep losing them.
But also like, how many of them? Because there's gonna be like years where Lil Pump, for example, was popping off and then he died off because like he wasn't a rapper that was just really having a lot of staying
power. He was purely like his run was purely off like memes.
Exactly. It was funny, dude. I bumped it. I'm not gonna lie.
But listen, I'm not gonna lie. Lil Pump self-titled album. I banged that shit so much in 2017 and 18, bro. There's some like
I'm
decent
the youngest flexer. Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. There's a song with 2 Chainz called "Iced Out."
Yeah.
That song has the catchiest beat ever. It's really like perfect. Like turn off your brain music.
Yes.
And just vibe with it. It's not like that's where you could kind of just if you want to just vibe. I feel like Lil Pump kind of had that vibe in some of his older music, I don't like Gucci Gang. That song was fucking
it was overplayed. I like Youngest Flexer. That was my favorite.
Youngest Flexer is cool.
That was my favorite.
And like D-Rose and Molly. I'm not gonna
Molly
lie,
was
bro.
good.
Like I bumped Lil Pump for a little bit.
Yeah.
He was catchy.
Yeah. Okay, but best rap song or hip hop song this year, what would you say?
My favorite? That is so tough.
I have a couple that comes to mind, but I think Jimmy Cooks is up there, man. I think that
I would say Jimmy Cooks is up there for me. That song is a banger.
I like Rock and Roll by Pusha T and Kanye and Kid Cudi. He brought
Definitely,
and
Diet Coke is fire.
Diet Coke is pretty dope too.
Yeah.
I think Pusher's album was very underrated as well. I can't. I went back because I listened to it later. I know a lot of people are gonna say "Wait for You"
Wait for You is
by
good.
Future. It does,
It's not my favorite off that Future album.
No, yeah, neither for me. I still think it's catchy. I really like the beat with like Thames or whatever.
Thames,
Yeah.
That's a sample apparently.
Yeah, I don't know what
It's
the
from,
original one.
The song's called Free Mind.
Free Mind. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what my favorite rap song is this year. Honestly, I listened to a lot of Gunna this year.
yeah.
EMP Power.
I didn't listen to it as much, dude.
Dude, Gunna is so fire, man, because his flows are crazy and he raps over it. I love Atlanta hip hop. That's why I'm also sad to see it kind of just go in the gutter, just because Atlanta hip hop is so catchy.
Did you listen to Lil Baby's new album?
Yeah, I honestly
I haven't.
I listened to it once. I didn't go back to it.
Yeah,
it's not bad. Like I have a couple of songs on the playlist for it, but I don't know. Like something, it's hard for me to go back to music on like it like doesn't hook me like right away.
Right. No, I agree with
You know
that.
what
Yeah.
I mean? So, I plan on going back to it probably one day. But
Yeah.
I need to be like hooked in for me to like it. So.
Right.
I think like I'll randomly hear it at like some party or like a bar or something like that. And I'm like, shit.
Dude, I still play my old school hip hop because I think because you still have like banger beats and stuff, but then you also have more lyrical, like the lyrics are a lot more prevalent. But yeah, I mean, I'll probably listen to the Little Baby album. I always liked him when he was featured with like Young Thug. When they were on tracks together, dude, they would go ham. But all right, should we switch it up? Last topic, kind of about Seattle sports, dude. Seahawks, man. I was not expecting.
I went to the game last weekend.
Oh yeah, we won, dude, against the
6-1, well 6-2 now Giants.
Yep. So Giants are pretty good, dude. They're this year at least. So
seeing Saquon live was pretty cool. It's like that man really.
That dude
just refuses to be tackled.
I think this might be a hot take. I think Saquon's probably the best running back to play since Barry Sanders. Like that dude is insanely talented. Like OBJ has tweeted multiple times. He's like the best to ever put on cleats, and that's coming from OBJ, who's like who probably still is one of the best athletes to ever play in the NFL. Like currently in this in this decade. So
that was the most iconic catch. So
yeah. So I like Saquon's I think my favorite running back. Like when he came, I saw him. Like I remember he going to UW, right? Like we played Penn State in one of the bowl games, and that dude, and we had a pretty solid defense. I think we had like Sidney Jones, Buddha, like a lot of NFL players that are currently playing, like Vita Vea, Danny Shelton. He toyed with our defense, dude. Like he had like 200 some yards or 200 total yards, like was just hurdling over our players and everything. Like, and when I saw that, I was like, okay, this dude's gonna be special. And then he had like crazy rookie year. So
Saquon's legit. I'm happy he got back on his feet because he did have those like couple of injuries.
Yeah,
that kept him from playing for a bit. That was cool. That was my first Seahawks game ever. So
yeah,
it was cool to see Saquon just juked the fuck out of our Seahawks defenders. Daniel Jones is still mid though.
He's mid. I think he's better than what people think because a lot of people
thought
he's
not terrible. I think he's just a decent game manager.
He is, yeah.
You know, just don't turn the ball over. Although he does kind of fumble.
Yeah, he does. He has a lot of turnovers. He's like a poor man's Josh Allen. If he can get like the turnovers down and then he get like a decent line, he might be better. But dude, Gino, man, I'll be the first to say it. Gino, you know, everyone wrote him off. He didn't write back though. Like he proved me wrong. Like
he proved me wrong too.
He's balling out, dude.
I didn't expect this from him. He might be low-key. This might be a hot take. He might be a top 5 quarterback in the league right now.
He might be, and based off of his stats, he's like the most accurate quarterback right now. So.
Easily. He might be an MVP conversation talks.
He is.
Which if he gets an MVP vote and fucking Russell Wilson didn't while he was in Seattle,
dude, that trade is looking insane because like we it looks like we fleeced him, right? Gino's playing better than Russ. Those picks are looking like it's going to be top 5, maybe top 10, top 10.
Right now? They're like
3 and 4, 3 and 5. Yeah, 4 and 5 or something.
Something like that.
Yeah, but like they were expected to be potential Super Bowl contenders, right? But that division is like ridiculously difficult. Yeah.
So.
But yeah, dude, I think like Seattle might actually like I wasn't expecting us to be potentially in the playoffs. And like we are tied, I think
Are we
for
top one division
I
right
think
now?
we're tied with the Niners, but the Niners would have the tiebreaker since they beat us. Yeah, but we're still in contention. We're above, the reigning Super Bowl champions Rams.
Rams haven't been too good this season.
Yeah, Cardinals have been iffy.
They've been, I think.
D-Hop's back though, so maybe
so they can make that late push.
Yeah,
for sure. Season's not over.
It isn't. Yeah,
but anything can happen. Like injuries are still a thing, or suspensions, or the sports athletes are wild.
Yeah,
so.
But we're kind of speaking about like running backs and Saquon, dude. Kenneth Walker looks like a fucking stud too.
I was bummed when Rashad Penny went down.
I was too, but I will say I thought Kenneth Walker coming into the NFL, even before like the Seahawks took him, he was the number one like running back in the league, coming into the league.
In the draft?
Yeah, I thought it was him, James Cook, who's on the Bills, and that's Dalvin Cook's younger brother, and then Breece Hall. Breece Hall was on a tear too.
He destroyed his ACL.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for him, but dude, Walker, man, he has patience, he has vision, he has speed, like he can break tackles, like he looks like the real deal. So
for sure.
But and also kind of going off of the Seattle sports, like Russ, dude. What do you think of Broncos country? Let's ride.
Russ's downfall this season's been crazy.
Yeah.
It's like even like just a year ago, he was like Mr. Seattle.
He was,
and like he was beloved here. I still got love for Russ, right? He brought us. He's the only Super Bowl winning quarterback here.
Yeah.
He did a lot of good things, but definitely like I think he just got a huge ego.
Yeah.
He like super Hollywood, like he married Ciara. He's just always like saying these corny ass things. Have you seen that fucking I know this wasn't in Seattle. This is recent, but have you seen those Danger Rich commercials?
Oh, dude, I never saw them live, but I saw some of like the TikToks.
I've never seen. I've just seen the clips of it.
Dude, it looks like creeper. Yeah, he's super cringe, dude. There's one interview he said he has Wolverine blood, and then he heals hella quick, and then he was out that following.
Did you hear how he was doing like high knees on the fucking?
Yeah, dude, that shit was so funny. Yeah, it was like on a 5-6 hour plane ride. And he's doing high knees and stuff, like going there. That shit was so funny to hear about. But
he's definitely like, I think he's pretty self-aware what he's doing now. But also, it's kind of just like, read the room, man.
Yeah, you think Ciara played a role in that at all? Like, kind of boosting his ego? Because like she's a superstar, right? Like a pop artist, pop icon. He at one point was like one of the best quarterbacks in contention to be like top 3, number 1 quarterback. Though that they created like a super couple. And like not necessarily like Ciara caused him to be like this cringy and everything, because I think he was already this cringy and like he was bred to be almost be like the movie character for a quarterback, but like I think he just feels like you have to talk to his agent. Like I saw on the Richard Sherman podcast that like Marshawn like was actually defending Russ, right? And he's like, what do you think about like if you tried to call him up, you would have to talk to his agent first. And he's like, and then Marshall's like, I ain't gonna talk to no agent, but he was like trying to tell him like, hey man, like because it takes a mental toll with all the hate that he's getting, and I get it, but I mean
that's not easy on anybody.
Yeah,
like if you get piled down like that, Also, I'm sure like that contract he signed didn't help either.
Yeah, and he's not performing.
Not performing, so that makes it easier to hate on him too.
Yeah.
So. I think Ciara definitely did kind of. I mean, like if you bag a bad bitch, like you're gonna be talking your shit.
Ciara's fine too, dude.
Yeah, you don't be talking your shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like as men just are just like that. Like I'd be like that. You'd probably be like that.
Yeah.
A lot of men are just like that.
Yeah.
They're like flexing their girl if they're like super.
Yeah, he's just too cringy, bro. And I'll say this, like this year, like them doing bad is gonna help the Seahawks. I'm gonna root for the Seahawks. I'm not going to root for him because he's not on the Seahawks, but we're going to probably bring him back into the Seahawks Ring of Honor. And when that happens, like I'm going to cheer for him, right? Because he brought us our only currently our only.
Yeah, the hate's not forever. It's just
Yeah.
It's definitely also didn't help how he was like, oh yeah, I would have stayed in Seattle. Like
yeah, he was so fake about it, and he's like, yeah, man, Team 3 is like, yeah, I want to stay in Seattle my whole career, but if I was traded because I have a no trade clause, these are the teams I'd go to. So. Yeah, I thought he was a little fake with that, and that's why I was a little bitter. And I felt like he didn't want to be in Seattle for the past like 3-4 years.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I don't necessarily blame him because that O-line was trash.
It is, yeah.
It was trash.
But look at it now, and they thought that it was just a change of scenery, but Pete's balling out, dude. He's having
No, that was my
coach of
next
the
thing.
year season.
Pete Carroll, man, we took that man for granted.
Hey, we did.
Because there was a lot of definitely like Team Russ and like Team Pete and
I was Team
the
Pete.
GM John Snyder.
I was Team John. If I had to choose to keep one out of the three, it was John. But I knew if we lost Pete, we'd lose John. So I said best bet was to trade Russ because he's 34, 35 now. Like he's on the later years. He was going for that fat contract. He didn't want to be here. Just trade him. Like it sucks because like he was such a likable person in Seattle, but he just seemed fake towards the end of his career.
At the end of the day, though, you can't blame Russ for running the bag.
No, like, I don't.
You can never blame an athlete for running the bag.
For sure. Yeah.
You know, anything can happen. You can get a career-ending injury. You know.
For sure.
Any of that stuff. So I can't hate on anybody for the bag like that.
But I think it's showing like a lot of it was coaching staff too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And dude, we see Gino was NFL Player of the Month. Kenneth Walker was NFL Rookie of the Month, Offensive Rookie of the Month, and then Tariq Woolen was NFL Defensive Rookie of the Month. So, like, dude, that's all credit to coaching right there.
Yeah,
so,
man. Pete Carroll.
Hey, man, we with you, Pete.
The Seahawks are better than Tampa Bay right now.
Right.
Brady been going through it.
Yeah.
So, Tampa Bay, Packers too. I don't know any. I don't remember the standings, but Seahawks are definitely a surprise of the year. I did not expect them. Like I said, bro, like when they beat the Broncos week 1, I was like, I'm Gucci.
Yeah.
Like we could lose every other game and I'm chilling. Yeah. You know, but they've been winning and I'm a roll with it. The Broncos have been losing too, so
for sure.
They don't get those good draft picks. And hopefully they keep losing. But like I said, it's like halfway through the season, anything can happen.
Yeah.
So Gino MVP. That's my
Gino for
pick.
MVP, dude. Kenneth Walker for Offensive Rookie of the Year and Tariq Woolen for Defensive Rookie of the Year. But all right, man, dude. We've been almost going for an hour, 54 minutes. Yeah. I think that was pretty good for your first one, right?
How do you feel?
I think it was good, dude. Like I think the first just getting into it. Once we got into the flow of things, it was a lot better. So, yeah, dude. The liquid luck kind of helped too. So.
Want to take another shot?
Take another shot, yeah.
Final one.
Yeah, we'll probably take one after this pod, but yeah, thanks for tuning in to the first ever Culture Cast podcast. I'm Kenny, Brian. So we'll probably we'll think of like some other topics to do on the next one. But
anyone I know who's watching this, you want to hop on?
Yeah, well, we're gonna take some guests coming up. So
the more the merrier.
Yep. So. We'll have some topics for the next one that we do, and then we'll probably make this some sort of recurring thing. It's pretty fun. So, all right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.